Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in October. In October I read 8 books. I will say most of them were for school. So most of the books I talk about in this video are going to be books that I was assigned to read for a class. A good handful of them weren't, so that's good. I feel like October was a pretty good reading month for me. Usually what happens for me as an English literature major, I tend to either only read stuff for school and then not read anything like for fun or like that I want to read myself, and then I just like hate reading or I don't read anything and I don't even read the things that are assigned to me. So I feel like October was actually a pretty good month because not only did I read the things that were assigned to me for class, I also managed to make time to read stuff for pleasure. So October had a good balance, I feel. So getting into the books that I read in October, the first 2 books I read were I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy and Atonement by Ian McEwan. I still don't know how to say this. I'm assuming it's McEwan, so that's what we're going with. I did talk about both of these books in a couple videos back in my return to booktube video, kind of like a recent reads update. So I will link that video wherever if you'd like to hear my thoughts specifically on the book. I'm not going to go too much into it because I've already talked about these books on my channel, but I did give both of these books 5 stars. I loved them. Atonement is even a new favorite, so that was pretty good. I had a lot of Goodreads. I had a lot of good reads in October. I feel like I've had so many months go by where I'm just reading 3-star after 3-star, and it's so annoying. You want to read good stuff. Depending on what it is, I tend to be very picky. So for me to give a book 5 stars, and I've said this before on my channel, but for me to give a book 5 stars, it has to be really good. Really good, moved me to tears type shit, okay? Or just blew my mind. And a book doesn't have to be 5 stars for it to be good. Obviously, a 3 and a 4-star book is still good. But when you just keep rating books 3 stars after 3 stars, you start to just roll your eyes and you're like, I'm tired of this. Can we please have something better? So October delivered. October was pretty good. After those books, I read The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the second book in the Inheritance Games trilogy that I'm currently buddy reading with a friend. I talked about my thoughts on the Inheritance Games also in that other video, so that is also in there if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on the first book, because obviously I'm not going to go too in-depth with the second book because of spoilers, but I didn't like it as much as the first book. I gave the first book, I think, 4 stars. I thought it was really fun, super fast-paced. It was a really good book to just escape into. This one, I mean, it was basically more of the same shit, but I felt like the plot took some turns that I didn't appreciate. The ending irritated me, and I'm tired of new characters being introduced to our main cast. I'm tired of it. I don't want any new characters in the story. We had a good group at the beginning of the first book, and then we had to add 2 more, and now we have 1 more possibly coming in the third book. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want it. So I gave this one 3 stars, not only because the ending irritated me, but I also felt like the story itself just wasn't as good as the first one. I was able to put this book down easier than the first one. You know what I mean? The first one I was like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? I care so much. And with this one, I was like, yeah, that's good. I'm fine. I'm still gonna read the third one, because at this point, I gotta finish the series. Reading a sequel for me is extremely rare. So at this point, I gotta just finish it. I saw a Goodreads review where someone gave the third book 1 star, and they were like, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I'll see you in hell, and I'm worried. I'm worried that it's gonna ruin it for me, because I did actually really enjoy the first book, and I didn't expect to. So yeah, I'm hoping that the third book kind of redeems itself from this one. This one wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good. So 3 stars, but I will still be reading the third book. The next book I finished in October was Beowulf by who knows? I am in my final semester of my undergrad, so one of the classes that I'm required to take, or like undergraduate seniors in my university are required to take, is like a research seminar class with one specific focus text. And in mine, the focus text is Beowulf. I had never read Beowulf before this class. I didn't even know that the focus text of this class was Beowulf until like 2 weeks before class started. I had some feelings about that. I think it's funny how little I have to say about this because I didn't care for it at all. I gave it 3 stars. Not because I felt like it deserved 3 stars or because I have like a genuine like opinion and like critique of why I gave it 3 stars. No. I gave it 3 stars because I didn't care enough to like actually consider how I felt about it, nor did I care enough to argue with anyone who gave it more than 3 stars. You know what I mean? Because to me, I didn't enjoy this. Like, really at all. The only thing that I enjoyed about this, even the slightest bit, was, like, Grendel and his mom. The monsters, okay? I didn't care about Beowulf. And, like, the fact that my whole class is about Beowulf, I can't ever get away from him until the semester ends. I will never escape this man until I graduate. I'm stuck with him for now. But this is Beowulf. So after Beowulf, we read Grendel by John Gardner, which I do have a physical copy of, but somehow I lost it, which probably isn't good, considering if I need to cite it for a paper, don't know where it is. I literally was looking for it right before I sat down to film this video, and I don't know where it is. So, it's somewhere. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is though, but I read it and it was interesting. I gave it 3.5 stars. Grendel is an adaptation of Beowulf from the perspective of Grendel, the monster from Beowulf. I was slightly interested in reading Grendel after finishing Beowulf because the only thing in Beowulf that interested me really was Grendel and his mom. And then I read Grendel and I was kind of disappointed because he's so mean to his mom. He's so mean to her, and for what? Like, he calls her, like, ugly and smelly, and, like, why? His mom, like, put her life on the line for him. Like, come on, Grendel. Whatever. It disappointed me in certain ways. I was hoping for a different story. It's fine. I thought it was better than Beowulf, or at least more enjoyable, more entertaining. I don't know. It was kind of funny. There were, like, funny moments in there. But, I mean, I felt like I still could have done without reading it. I don't know. I'm just so tired of Beowulf and Grendel and fucking Hrothgar and all these bitches. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of them. I'm just waiting. I just have to get through them. I just have to get through these books and then I won't ever have to think about them again. After Grendel, we read Eaters of the Dead by Michael Crichton, which is another adaptation of Beowulf. However, in this book, the narrator is a man who has been forced to go with Beowulf and his crew to go kill Grendel and save Hrothgar's kingdom. I think that there's a movie based off of this book. I don't know. I really don't know. The Northmen or something? I have no idea. This was a whole world that I had not entered until this class. Medieval things, like medieval literature and medieval stuff, it's not really a realm that I ever explored, and I don't think that I will be exploring it further after this class. But yeah, I don't know really what movie, I don't know. I could have Googled it and I didn't, so that sucks. This one was better than Beowulf and Grendel. I thought that this was way more entertaining. It was more enjoyable to read. It was just better. I give this one 3.75. This one's more entertaining because the guy who's like forced to go with Beowulf and his crew, he like hates all of them and he talks about how disgusting they are and how they don't bathe and shit, and I just thought that was like very entertaining. But Beowulf's name in this book is like Bullywhiff. And Grendel is like Wendell. I don't know. The good thing about these books is that they're so short. I think Grendel was 200 something pages. This one, this one wasn't even 200 pages. I read this in a day. So that's the good thing about this. Like, at least my class isn't on like War and Peace. The next book that I finished in October was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was the first ever Colleen Hoover book that I have read. Don't know if I'll be reading more. I mean, I might. I'm not closed off. I'm interested in Verity. I've heard a lot of people like that one. I don't know. My boss liked Verity, so, you know, maybe I'll read that one. Let me know if I should read that one. Maybe I'll think about it. I did an entire reading vlog for this book, so I'm not going to go too in-depth about my thoughts, because it's all there if you want to see it. But there are spoilers in that vlog, so I will still sum it up here. For those that don't know, which is probably not that many, because everybody's read this by now, this book is about an abusive relationship, basically. The complexity of a relationship like that, and generational like patterns throughout like families. That's what this book is about, basically. It was okay. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was horrible. I gave it 3.75 stars. I didn't want to give it 4 because there were aspects of the book that fell flat for me. I didn't care about any of the characters, to be honest. But I didn't want to give it 3 because I felt like it was a little bit better than 3 stars. I don't know. I went with 3.75. It was fine. I have a feeling that this is not her best book. I ran a poll on Twitter and I asked like what Colleen Hoover book I should read for a reading vlog. And I had It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, and then like other. Comment a different book. This one won. I wonder if it's because the sequel just came out. Because I feel like this is not her best book. It can't be. Is it? I don't know. I feel like it was okay. I just didn't really care. I feel like I was expecting something like way more. But it was alright. I'm not mad at it. Also not in love with it. It just was what it was. So the last book that I read in October was The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. This book was assigned in my post-colonial literature class. This book was phenomenal. I don't even know what to say. This book is so good. This is probably one of the best books I've ever read that's been assigned in class. Every single line in this book is so beautifully written. I want to reread it. I decided halfway through the book I wanted to reread it because of how good it is. This book takes place in the late 60s in India, and it follows a family, particularly 2 twins, and it's a story just filled with so much heaviness, if that makes sense. There's love, there's heartbreak, it's sad, it's tragic, it's everything, and every single character plays such a significant role, and it's so intricate and complex and deep, and it's so fucking good. Obviously, I gave it 5 stars, if that's not obvious already. I think everybody should read this. It's incredible. Is it a new favorite? Maybe. This is what I'm saying. This was a good reading month. Like I said, every single line has a purpose. I don't think there's one sentence in this book that the writer just threw in as like a transition or a whatever sentence. No. Every sentence had a purpose. Every sentence affected me, like emotionally. Reading this, I was absolutely blown away by just the use of words. The use of words. You ever read a line or a quote and you're like, wow, that's impactful, that's so powerful. Just the way whoever said this or wrote this arranged the words here. It's so good. Yeah, that's every line in this book. Just about every single line. It's just so good, y'all. I cannot stop saying that, but it is. Please read it. So those were all the books that I read in October. 3 included the cast of Beowulf. Not super thrilled about that, but overall pretty good reading month. Definitely a lot of really good books this month. I think I had 3 5-star reads this month, which is insane. I don't think I've ever had that many 5-star reads in one month. The cast of Beowulf or not, like, I'll take it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them, what you read in October. I would love to know. So yeah, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!